All right, good afternoon, everybody. We are live with severe weather again this week. After what has been an active week, we continue to punch out some warnings out there. It's been a day that has really been cooking them up out there, but it's just now that we've seen our first severe thunderstorm warning, and it is for Taylor and Macon counties until 4 o'clock. And that is for this storm right here. Now, a ton of lightning in there, and I'm going to get to some of the other storms in a minute, but this is the only one that we have that is severe, and you can see with the hail core, you're talking about close to an inch in diameter. It looks like it's come down some on that latest scan. If I go backwards, you can see when the hail was bigger right there, getting over an inch in diameter. And now as it drifts slowly toward the east, it looks like hopefully that's the sign that the hail core is starting to come down a little bit. Here's the big picture for everybody. We started with big storms that were rolling through Monroe, Jones, Bibb, Crawford, toward the south. It's one of these where this is where it started and everything has been rippling out on the outside edges of this. Another storm putting out a ton of lightning is Wilkinson County. So Baldwin to Wilkinson down into Lawrence County. And let's see, that's the Macon Skycam. Let's go. This is Dublin right here, and you can see the outside edge of one of these storms. So a lot of rain with these, clearly, a lot of lightning, but then also in there, the potential for some hail and maybe some 60-mile-per-hour winds. Let's go back to the radar again, and you can see the movement of all this. Got a little bit of a slow sag toward the south and east, a little bit eastward movement with that one in Lawrence County right here, kind of closing in. So that is the only severe thunderstorm warning, though, is the one for Taylor County. Lightning strikes aplenty out there again today. And you can see just inside this polygon, number of strikes 13. That's clearly not right. So it must be because it's outside the polygon. Anyway, you get the point. There are a lot of lightning strikes out there. So we would say many, many hundreds. Again, the hailstones in there, maybe near an inch in diameter with some of that. See, starting to get some of the, what about, let's see, how about Perry? Right now Perry is quiet. If you look off toward the west, you probably can see some dark sky between Fort Valley and Marshallville there. This storm looks to be, it says from the National Weather Service warning that it is jogging slowly east at 5. It doesn't look like it's moving a whole lot, but there may be a little bit of a push out here toward the east. So Perry, if that continues, it may kind of go over that way. But also, look at areas that have already been touched by rain today. And you can see it. There, I'll put the stop on that and show you the temperature plots. You can get an idea of where the rain-cooled air is, and it's already changed Butler down to 76. Places like Dublin, still sitting at 93, 91 in Eastman, 91 Eatonton, but all in the middle right here, this atmosphere is being washed over. So you still could get a shower or storm, but it's on these outside hot edges that had not seen thunderstorms yet. That's where we're seeing the majority of the development right now. And if you look on the temperature map, you can see that our southeastern counties still are in the heat with a lot of low to mid-90s there. And on the heat index map, definitely right there. So you can see what the rain has done to some of these spots. The places that haven't seen it yet still have the possibility of more storms to fire in there. So again, the only severe thunderstorm warning is for Taylor and a slither of Macon County, which goes until 4. Again, keeping an eye on this other one here. We've seen so many big storms today, even these that rolled through Macon, that put on a good lightning show and had some hail, but they were just underneath severe criteria. So if you're asking about your particular area, the only areas we are concerned with right now are these two. And when I say concerned, I mean this one is severe and this one is not. We're just keeping an eye on that. Let's go back to hail. There has been a little bit of hail in that one Wilkinson into Lawrence County there, but not as much as what's been going on in Taylor County. You can see where it's spiked up there, but that's starting to come down in size as well. Crawford County, somebody asked. Crawford County's already had some thunderstorm action nearby and are in the county, so sometimes that will have already worked that atmosphere over. Just take a look and see what Taylor County looked like before that storm came in. There was nothing there, so it's blowing up in a very hot and humid area. If it's not super hot and muggy where you are, it's still muggy out there, but if it's not super hot where you are, you've at least had some rain-cooled air nearby, and that's probably not going to be a spot where you're going to see things pop up. Somebody asked about Twiggs County. We've already seen a few thunderstorm cells roll through there, so I don't see anything developing there anytime soon, but we'll watch as we go through. Here is a look at a high-res model for the rest of tonight. Notice how it doesn't really pick up on what's going on in Wilkinson and Lawrence counties right now, but this is going forward. It's getting the idea of what's kind of going forward here as we go 5, 6 o'clock, and then as we go into tonight, things kind of wash out. Well, there's Dublin, seeing some rain. Seeing some heavy rain out there. And lightning popping. All these storms have been big lightning producers. That rain's kind of coming in sideways, so you'll see in a minute as I move the camera around that the rain will land right on the lens. It's quite a delay on what you're seeing there. Let's see if I can get that to... Looks like the Skycam shot there is frozen, but I'm seeing it on my end. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with that. I'm trying to show you the Dublin Skycam. Can I show you the Macon Skycam? Yeah, that works. That's live. I saw a car go by, so that's just really delayed. Dublin is, because I've already moved it around. All right, so let's check in on Perry. That's looking off toward the west where that severe storm is over in Macon County. All you can see is dark sky in the distance. All right, looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning has just gone out now for Johnson, Laurens, and Trutland. Let me get back to the map. So that was that other set of storms we were looking at. There it is right there. So that is for Dublin heading over toward the southeast. Let me see. So now we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. Never heard it beep in here. This one goes until 4:15. The verbiage on this one is, as I said earlier, it does have an eastward movement to it more than the one in Macon County. This is moving east at 20, 60-mile-an-hour winds with the possibility of some hail in there as well. Let's take a look at that. So both of these storms are severe now, the ones that we were keeping an eye on. Go into the hail and see, not showing up a whole lot with hail. There's the ding. Going backwards, going forward. Penny-size hail may be possible with some of that. And that is kind of moving. It's over Dublin now. I tried to show you the Skycam shot, but I can see it on my end, but I can't get it to pop up for you. Let's try it again. There we go. Yeah, there's Dublin. Camera's a little bit skittish there, but it's seizing up on us, but you get the idea with the heavy rain coming down. Let's see if I can move it around. Seem to have a bad connection with it right now. I wish you could see it in real time, because I can see it on this other monitor in real time, and it's got some thump to it coming in. So heavy rain and wind going on in Dublin. One of the spots in that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, that one goes until 4:15. That's a pretty good storm there, putting down some heavy rain. Yeah, not much in the way of hail, maybe some gusty winds. I'm seeing that on the camera. Again, it's hard to see on this camera shot because for whatever reason it is, let me see if I can try one other thing here. It's still skittish. All right, so let's go back to the radar then, since, again, the camera looks fine from what I can see over here, but the trees are really blowing around out there, so that's a pretty good storm. Just stay away from windows there until this thing moves through. It's right over Dublin right now. A lot of lightning with it. Again, it's got a little bit more movement to it. It's moving toward the east at 20, so it's heading into southern Johnson and into Trutland County. That's that storm. All that lightning you've been seeing in Wilkinson County is all transferred down into that storm in Lawrence County. We'll roll back over here into Taylor County, a little bit of Macon County. It's mainly from Butler southward, but it is spreading out a little bit. It's hard to say it's moving toward the east, but it is forming more on this eastern side here. Not a whole lot of movement to this storm. This is one that's just almost sitting still. Yeah, boy, the Dublin Skycam, if only we could see it right. You might be able to kind of make it out a little bit. It's just breaking up on you, but you can see the idea of the sideways rain blowing in. Let's check back in with, yeah, that's a shame. I'd like to be able to show you that. Let's see. Here's Perry. Again, that dark sky off in the distance. That's where some of that storm from Taylor and Macon counties is spreading toward the east a little bit, trying to make its way towards 75. Again, the storm itself is not necessarily moving east, it looks like. It's just that it's broadening out. So these are the two storms. And again, if you look at all these other storms we've had, I mean, they were going like this too, and then they fall apart pretty quickly. So we've seen some of them with a lot of lightning and heavy rain, and then they'll just start to collapse. So that may be what happens with these in just a little bit. But again, the Taylor County storm goes until 4, that warning. And then Lawrence County goes until 4:15, Lawrence, Johnson, and Trutland counties. But again, that one's the one that's moving a little bit toward the east-southeast at around 20. It's also developing a little bit out front in Trutland. Yes. Let's lead and do 130 for a full should be fine, normal. That was a little inside baseball there, folks. Just talking to producers, trying to figure out how we're going to time the shows out coming up in just a little bit. And so that's how it goes in the afternoons. They come in, they say, is this, you need to lead the show with this? I say, yes, let's do, please. Let's give me a minute and a half at the top of the 5. Maybe the top of the 6 if it's still going then. Let's go up. I haven't looked at the questions, but I'm sure there may be some for Baldwin, Hancock, Washington County, Wilkinson County, but I'm not seeing anything severe with any of that. Caroline in all caps says, what about Eastman? Well, Eastman is somewhat quiet for right now, but we are starting to see the beginning of a thunderstorm south of town. We'll see if that actually gets going. Some of these will look like that for a little bit, and they'll roll for a little bit, and then they'll fall right back down. So I'm not sure if that's going to become anything big, but I do know that this area is still very hot and muggy, so there's plenty of fuel here for storms, and you can see Telfair trying to flare up a little bit as well. So I would imagine before the day is done, at some point we're going to see rain and thunderstorms here, and this may be the beginning of them now. It doesn't mean they're going to be severe, because you can see these storms that have been going here. None of this was severe, all in the middle. It's been popping up and then falling back down. When I say fall down, I mean the storm collapses. It's already done its thing. East Dublin getting pummeled, says Winton. I saw that. Sky getting darker in Perry as we look over the interstate. We'll try the Dublin Skycam again. You actually, well, you could see it moving for a second, but now it's locking up on us again. So for whatever reason, it just doesn't want that camera to be smooth. The other ones are looking okay. There's some lightning flashing there. Let's go back to Perry. Alrighty, so back down to the radar shot here. Again, the warning for Taylor County, Macon counties goes until 4. The one for Lawrence County into Southern, Johnson, and Trutland County goes until 4:15. Let's do another hail check. We know we have plenty of lightning. The hail core for the Taylor County storm definitely was more impressive earlier. That has fizzled out a pretty good bit. Most of it now is pushed on out of Taylor. This around Dublin, showing some small hail maybe. Can you answer that for me, Alex? All right, so there's the Dublin Skycam again. It's skittish, but you can still see a lot of wind and sheets of rain blowing across through town. The radar shot?
Yeah, just whatever the counties the warnings are.
He needs which counties? Taylor County, Macon County, Lawrence, Johnson, and Trutland.
All right, will do. Okay, got
All right, so again, as I mentioned, some hail around Dublin. Yeah, the storm over Dublin's got a good punch to it. 60-mile-per-hour winds possible. And again, some hail. Whoops. Let's do. Yeah, you can see the wind with that one too, showing up on the velocity map. We're not seeing anything rotating, but some bright red in there, so the possibility of some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in there. Again, that one goes until 4:15. We jump over to this one. Not seeing as much in the way of wind now. When I go backwards, you can see a little bit earlier, but really, that Lawrence County storm is the one that has the punch right through Dublin, right there in the past 10 minutes. So, wish the camera would help us out there, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Let's see, this is the storm here that we've been looking at from the Perry Skycam looking off. This is in Fort Valley. Not severe. It's only severe inside these yellow polygons, this one and this one. But we are keeping an eye on this new development in Peach County and Fort Valley. It looks like just normal rain and thunder for right now. But it looks like it is going to make its way toward that Perry Skycam in just a little bit. Technically, this storm here in Taylor has 20 seconds left on it. See if it drops off the map here. There it goes. So that's gone. So the Taylor County severe thunderstorm warning is gone, but there's still a storm that's making a lot of racket out there for sure as it rolls toward the south. So the only severe thunderstorm warning we have now is Lawrence County heading east. We'll see how this plays out because you're seeing all this blowing up over Swainsboro too, which is looking more impressive than this one at the current moment. So we'll see if this wins out over here, and this may at least fill in some with some thunderstorm action here. It looks like it's trying to. Hail cores in both of these.
Is that what you needed? The first one does, and then the second one's 4:15.
Okay, so there's a look at the numbers too. So great temperature look out there now where some of the rain has come in and cooled things down, but if you notice still down here where it's still hot, so it's going to keep going. These things are going to spread out until they eat up all this hot muggy stuff out there. Definitely no shortage of humidity. Dew points way up into the 70s, and that's where the heat index, McRae at 113 right now. So that is, on a day like today, it's a powder keg for thunderstorms to tap into. And again, we're starting to see some development in Dodge and Telfair. Again, I don't want you to say that, look and say, well, these aren't necessarily going to turn into these other storms. They could get bigger, but right now, this one in Eastman has not. Telfair County, don't even see any lightning with that one yet. Going back up top again, you can see from Baldwin, Hancock, Washington, all that stuff. None of that is severe. Starting to go over into a light rain from Macon, Forsyth to Gray, which you'll see happen after some big thunderstorms fire through, and then it'll just kind of settle into a light rain for a while. More redevelopment up north, but in our area, by and large, we're working the atmosphere over. So what that means is, generally, once you start doing that, you're going to decrease the potential for seeing any more thunderstorms because the storms have already kind of been to the buffet and eaten everything up there. New severe thunderstorm warning for Treutlen County leading into Swainsboro right here. So Treutlen, you have one on each side of you here. And notice how it is filling in the middle. So from this storm to this storm, kind of bridging the gap. And hail core getting bigger with that one. And because they're kind of bridging together, it looks like it's moving toward the west, but everything's just filling in right there toward Trutland. All right, so there's Dublin. Let's go back to Perry Skycam now. This is going to be coming in from the right side of your screen as the rain gets closer, moving in from Peach. See if I can jog us over that way a little bit. Yeah, so it's going to kind of come over the corner of the building there. Give a good wash to the Christmas decorations in the bottom right of your screen. So if you're going to be driving across 75 in that area in a little bit, it's probably going to be a little bit slow going once that starts to spread over. Again, that's not severe. Let's take the lightning off and you can see how this rain's moving a little easier. Sometimes with all that lightning, you can't pick out the movement very well. Notice up here, as I was talking, how this is all starting to wash out. Storms have come in and just scoured it out. It's going to eventually happen over here too, as everything starts to eat a little bit toward the east. And this is going to push out toward the southeast, and eventually this is going to get eaten up down here too. So this is the way it goes on a busy summer thunderstorm day like this. Let's go back and check. Hail, looks like the hail in the Lawrence County storm is still a little bit smaller than what is going on in Emmanuel County for Swainsboro. Only other little bit of hail I do see a little bit around Fort Valley here. Again, that's not severe, but you could be hearing some hailstones out there. That's what came right through Fort Valley actually a minute ago. Let's see if anybody had any comments on that. I might have missed them. Let's go back over. All right. So again, the only warning is that Lawrence, Johnson, Trutland until 4:15. Technically on the eastern half of Trutland here is that other warning, which goes until 4:30. Yeah, that storm's starting to get closer in, coming from Peach County over to Houston. So that we're looking at, that I just showed you on that Skycam, is looking this way, seeing this leaving Fort Valley. So this one ought to actually put on a show for us on the camera when it heads on in toward Perry here in a second. Should kind of head right toward the camera over the corner of the building. Again, just looking at normal thunderstorms with that, no severe weather with that one. This is the only stuff we're seeing that's severe. And it is filling in between these two cells now. This one's going east, this one's kind of diving toward the west. Definitely some ominous looking skies out there this week. Every afternoon we've been putting up stuff like this. So there's the big picture for everybody. Kind of pick out where you live. If you don't see a yellow polygon on your county or city, you do not have severe weather. You have storms that are probably getting your attention, but they're not severe. The only place that is severe is right here. New storm trying to get going, Dooley into Pulaski, Wilcox. That's not really big at the moment. But this one's spreading out again toward Houston County. Does have some hail in it. Again, you can see when it was over Fort Valley. The hail core may stay north of that Skycam shot. Kind of a shelf cloud coming out front. I wish we could see over that building. I wonder if I can move around a little. I think we're going to get totally screened out. Yep. So technically that warning that is the first one for Lawrence County into Trutland and Johnson goes for another 5 minutes. And again, you can see kind of a convergence going on between these two. So all around the Adrian area is going to fill in. You can see the two hail cores when I back them up and go forward. It's like they may be coming down in intensity. That'd be good. No shortage of lightning though, still plenty of that. Looks like we're starting to get some more of the wind coming into the fairgrounds. Power out in Fort Valley, Ashley says. Okay. People are saying, what's happening in Perry? Well, no, I mean, there's nothing, a lot of people talking about Perry. No, it's just because I'm just showing the Skycam shot. There's no tornado stuff or anything like that, and that's not even a severe thunderstorm warning for Perry. It just happens to be where we have a camera and can see one of these storms. Again, the only severe weather we have is for Lawrence County into Trutland and southern Johnson. Any of this other stuff I'm showing you is not severe. That is what you're seeing on the Skycam. Camera's here looking out. Most of it is going to go across the interstate this way, but some of it may sag down to the fairgrounds. We'll see. Again, not severe. It just happens to be where we can see one of them. But you can tell that's looking across the interstate toward the west there, and I can't go any farther toward the north because there's a building there. All right, 2 minutes left on the warning for Lawrence County into Trutland. It's got bowing out right there, probably some pretty stout wind going on. Yeah, you can see it heading into Soberton. So some strong wind about to come into Soberton. A little bit of hail in parts of Trutland, but it's mainly wind and lightning. You see as I go backwards, look at the yellow shades in there. Back outside of Dublin, especially East Dublin, where I've seen some comments talking about how bad the wind was there. You can see it right here, really flaring up. So right through Dublin and East Dublin is where we had the strongest winds. So yeah, if you're in Soperton, good shot of wind and rain about to come in. I'm sure you're already hearing the lightning and thunder from both sides of you and north of you. Yeah, you can see from the Skycam shot, most of the dark clouds are going on the right side of your screen over 75, just north of where we are here. Might still see some rain here in a little bit, but the main shot of it looks like it's north of the fairgrounds. All right, looks like the polygon on the left should drop off in about 10 seconds. Four, three, two, one. There it goes. So that severe thunderstorm warning is gone. There's one for eastern Trutland County into Emmanuel County, and that goes until 4:30. However, I still have preparations to make for the 5 o'clock news, so I'm going to have to split. I don't have any new information for you other than we're not looking at tornadoes or anything like that, but you may have some gusty winds, a lot of lightning, maybe a little bit of hail in some of these places as well. And still seeing some hail in Peach County right here, heading over the interstate again, out of the shot of that Skycam going into Houston. So if you are in Perry, eventually Kathleen Bon Air, it may stay underneath Warner Robins. Looks like it could. I think Warner Robins could still see some rain, but I think the main blast of this for now looks to stay south, unless it starts to branch out up in here. But right now it's mainly going Fort Valley to Perry. All right, so that'll do it for this one. If there are any other warnings, I'll pop back on. Otherwise, I'll see you at the 5 o'clock show coming up in just a little bit. So long for now.